It began with whispers of change that the husband almost ignored. She smiled differently, laughed harder at her phone, and often drifted into thoughts that left her distant at home. He brushed it off as stress or routine exhaustion, convincing himself that marriage sometimes passed through dull seasons. Yet deep inside, something gnawed at him. A silent warning that love was slipping through his fingers. Her closeness with her boyfriend was gradual but deliberate. At first, she called him a harmless colleague, someone who made workdays bearable. But as time passed, her tone softened when she mentioned him. Her eyes lit up at his texts, and her late nights multiplied. What she once shared with her husband, her secrets, her laughter, her warmth was now being given away to someone else. She started dressing differently too. More makeup, new perfumes, and an excitement in her step when she was leaving the house, only to return drained and dismissive. The husband noticed but said nothing. His silence wasn't ignorance, it was patience. He wanted to believe in her loyalty, but his instincts screamed betrayal. The first undeniable sign came one night when she fell asleep, with her phone in her hand. A message glowed on the screen. Asterisk, I miss your touch already. When can I see you again? Asterisk, the husband's heart nearly stopped. His chest tightened, and for a moment, he couldn't breathe. The words were intimate, filled with longing. Words that should have been meant only for him. He didn't wake her. Instead, he placed the phone back carefully, swallowing his anger. His love for her clashed violently with the truth he had just witnessed. He needed certainty, proof that would silence every doubt. So he waited for his chance. The following week, she announced she was going out with a friend for dinner. He smiled and nodded, his voice steady, though his heart raged within him. Quietly, he followed her car. His headlights dimmed, his pulse quickening with every turn she took. She finally stopped at a secluded cafe outside of town, where her so-called boyfriend was waiting. The husband's stomach churned as he watched them, greet each other not like friends, but like lovers who couldn't resist. Their smiles were too tender, their touch too familiar, their kiss too passionate. Every second was a knife cutting deeper into his soul. He recorded it all, his hands trembling, knowing the truth was now undeniable. He returned home before her, his mind swirling with betrayal. For hours, he sat in silence, staring at the evidence on his phone. Memories of their love, their vows, and their shared dreams flashed before him. Now poisoned by her disloyalty, he knew he couldn't ignore it anymore. When she finally walked in, smiling faintly as if nothing had happened, he greeted her with chilling calm. The next morning, he asked her to sit down. Without a word, he pressed play on the video. Her face paled instantly as her betrayal unfolded on the screen before her very eyes. She stammered, reaching for excuses, tears streaming as she begged for forgiveness. She swore it was a mistake, claimed it didn't mean anything, and promised she would end it immediately. But her words were hollow. The husband's silence was heavier than any scream, his gaze sharper than any accusation. You didn't just betray me, he said finally, his voice low but steady. You betrayed everything we built together. You destroyed us. Her pleas grew desperate, but the husband had already decided. With dignity intact, he began packing his belongings. He didn't shout, didn't curse, he simply walked away from the ashes of their marriage, leaving her with nothing but the weight of her own choices. The boyfriend who once thrilled her could never match the loyalty her husband gave. What she thought was freedom turned into chains of regret, as the man she loved and married slipped away forever. The husband, though broken, found strength in the truth. His shocking discovery had not only exposed her affair, but also freed him from a love poisoned by lies. And while she was left with nothing but guilt and emptiness, he walked into a future where betrayal no longer haunted him. In the end, her closeness with her boyfriend destroyed everything. But his calm, unshakable resolve ensured that the one thing she could never take away from him, his dignity, remained untouched.